In this video, I'm going to show you how you can edit a Joker makeup in picsart. So let's get started. Alright guys, let us begin. So we're going to import the image. She's from photo library. And this is how it's going to work. We first of all work on the image, the makeup. Then later on, we will work on the costume. So let's start with this image and click on add. So as you can see, I've already removed the background to save us some time. I have a video to show you how to remove background. You can find it in my channel. So let's just get started. So first thing first, we want to make the face white. And to do that, click right here. You duplicate this 2 times. So we have 2 layers. So you turn off the one at the top. You click on the one at the bottom. Then you come over here and then you make it black and white. Okay, so let us pick the eraser tool, which is from your layer drop down, and you can see the eraser tool. So for the brush, you make it the size bigger and you leave the hardness at 0%. Every other thing could be 100%. Then after that, you click right here, you click on this layer, you turn it on. You just use the eraser tool to erase, just like that. So when it comes to the edges, you just click like so. So just remove it only for the faces. Okay. So for the neck, you can come over here to the brush. You can reduce the flow and the opacity and just click few clicks. And I think that's enough. So this is it. Okay, I think we should, yeah. So now what we want to do, we want to remove the eyes from it. We don't want the eyes to be black and white. So to do that, you click on your layer drop down right here, and then you click on this black and white layer, which is this one. So now you zoom in, go back to your brush size. This time you reduce the size, increase the flow and opacity. So let us erase. I think I'll make the size a bit bigger. So you also want to erase some edges. I think we did it too much there, so let us undo. So you want to do it in some edges, so you could have that organic look to it. Yeah, so you do the same thing to the second one. Like so. And now what we want to do, as you can see, the face is black and white. We want it to be like white chalk. So you click on the layer drop down, make sure this layer is active, and now you can come to adjustment. You can use curves, you can use brightness and contrast. So let us use brightness and contrast. So you want to increase the brightness. Okay, and also the contrast as well, like so. You can play with it to your taste. For me, I think this one will go. So now I'm going to click on done. Alright, now let us draw out painting on the mouth side. So to do that, we go to our layer drop down again, This time we click on top of the layer and you click right here, and then you create an empty layer, then you click done. So now let us pick up a brush. So you click on your toolbar and you click on paint tool. So select a red color. Let us pick a red from here. Should be a dark one. Okay, now the brush, make it 100% flow and opacity, and the size should be a bit small, like so. So you turn it off back, and now you draw from like this. I think I should make the brush size a bit bigger. Okay, now you draw. I think it's too big. Now let's see. Okay, this one could be manageable. So I think it should come from there and here. Okay, so just take your time when doing this. The more time you spend, the accurate, the more great it's going to look. Okay, take year 2. Nice. Now let us fill the area. So I'm going to make the brush size a bit bigger. Just brush around it. You don't have to worry if you brush a bit to the outside, that will be fine. So let's come to this side. Okay. I think I'll make the brush small for this side. I think this one is okay. So we can change the blend mode to overlay, and we'll have something like this, which is not cool. So to make it a bit even better, you click right here, click on select pixels, so let's turn it off. Then you go to the bottom layer, which is this one, and you create layer from selection, and let's take it to the top. So we can deselect it now. So click right here and deselect, and now let us make it black and white. So click right here and click on black and white. I think we're in the wrong layer, so let's undo that. Click on layer, drop down again. Okay, so we are supposed to make this layer active, which is this one. So now let us go back here and click on black and white. Now we can turn on this layer, and yeah, so we can work on this independently to get our what we want. So click right here. I'm going to use curves for this one. Okay, as you can see, it's too dark, so let us take it to the top to brighten it. Okay, don't worry about the excess area. We are going to fix that in no time. Okay, so you can spend more time to work on this to get your own taste, but for me, I will click on OK. So now let us remove the excess area. So we'll click right here, click on the bottom layer, click here and then select pixels. After that, you go to the top, which is this one, come over here and then you click extract. So just get rid of that. That is good. So now for the nose. Okay, so let us deselect the selection and create an empty layer on top. So create an empty layer right here, done. So let's go to the brush size. I think we'll make it bigger and a bit harder. So we can just click right here, something like this. I hope we are in a new layer. Okay, then make the brush a bit smaller, make it softer, and brush like this. Let's make it a bit bigger. So just brush around the spot and right here as well. Okay, just as we did before, we'll turn this one overlay. We'll click on select pieces. We'll go to the bottom one, let's turn it off and go to the bottom one. Click layer from selection. We can take it to the top. Set it to black and white. Click right here on adjustment, black and white. Now we can turn this one back on and click on this one again, which is the black and white layer, and click to adjustment and curves. So we already have the settings here, so I'm just going to leave it as the original settings. Done. So before, after, I think it's look better. So now let us deselect it again. Click right here and deselect. So now we are going for the eyes. So you know there are some blue kind of angle stuff in the eye. I think was oh. So let us erase that. Click on this black and white layer. Okay. And now let's go back to paint. I think this is the last thing we'll be painting. So click on the top layer, click right here, add an empty layer above it, click on done. So this one I'm going to make the brush size a bit smaller again. This time I'll go with a color blue. So I'll go to HSB and change the hue to blue. Okay. So now let us draw right here. I think it's too small. Okay, so let's just draw right here. Create that kind of angle. Nice. So let's come back. Let's do the same thing right here. Okay, draw the angle. Okay, so now let's do the same thing for the front, for the top. So click right here, India, and of course this side as well. Okay, now let us paint. Let us fill the space with paint. And before we go further, there's something I would like us to do, which is to create a fade out right at this top. So to do that, without affecting the rest, we click right here, click on the marquee selection tool, and from there we select our lasso tool. So let's select around this part. So let's draw around this part. As you can see, it made a selection exactly where we draw. So you click right here and then you click on fade. So you fade it right here. Like so. So this is the before and the after. So we're going to do the same thing on this one. Click right here and you click on fade. So this is cool. And I think we're going to stop there. So I think the edges right here are too sharp. So what we can do to fix that is to click right here, click on select pixels, click right here again, and then we're going to feather it. So click here, feather. So yeah, maybe 10 pixels will do. Click on done and click right here again and click extract. So as you can see, it feather it a bit. So this is the before and the after. So now we can deselect, just as we did with the other one. We're going to change the blend mode to overlay. Click on select pixels, go to the bottom layer, which is this one, click layer from selection, done, take it to the top, and set it to black and white. From there you can click on deselect and go to adjustments, curves, and just play with it a bit. I think for this one I'll take it down. Like so. I think this color should be more bluish. So let's go back here, select pixels, and let's change the color a bit. Thought I selected the blue color. Let's go to HSB. Should we increase the saturation? Yes, I think. Let's take down the brightness. Okay, so let's leave it like this. At your free time, you can go ahead, tune it. You can go ahead and tune it the way you like. But for me, I think I'll take this one. So I'm going to click on done. So, okay, now let's go to the hair. As you can see, the hair is black and the ratio car hair is green. So we want to copy that and make this hair green. So a very easy way to do that, just follow my step and I'll show you. So you click right here and click on this layer right here. Click on this layer, which is the bottom one, the one we have been using as a reference, and select around the hair. Just randomly select around it. It don't have to be a perfect selection. From there, click on layer from selection, like so. After that, you can deselect the selection. So now let us take it to the top of everything. To the top of everything. So yes, it's at the top of everything. So now let us click select pixels, which is this, and come over here to effects, click on threshold. So as you can see, What you want to do is to click on this back color, reduce it to 0%, click on this fore color, change it to green. I think I have green right here. So now let's play with the threshold, increase the threshold or reduce it. Let us put it right here. You can smoothen it a bit at your own preference. Okay, I think I'm good with this one. Click on done. So let us deselect it. Click right here and deselect. And let us clear it from the side which we don't want it, which is this forehead, for example. So we use our eraser tool to do the clearing. I think I'm going to increase the brush size. Yeah. So let us erase. Nice. Though it looks a bit messy, but you will see. We'll see how it's going to look at the end. Don't worry. Remove it for the ears. So I'll clear it from this side too. Okay, now this is where the magic happens. So what you want to do, click on your layer drop down, change the blend mode to overlay. Okay, still doesn't look great. Yeah, I agree with you. Now you click on select pixel just as we have been doing before. Select pixel, go to the bottom layer right here, this one. Click on layer from selection, take it to the top, just underneath that green, just underneath this one. Now we can deselect it and turn it black and white. Yeah, as you can see, it looks better greeny. If you still want to, you can come over here, click on curves. Let me undo it and just apply some more green to it wherever you want. I think this one looks pretty cool enough, so I'm not going to touch it. I think I will keep the original one. So okay, yes, there's one more thing, which is those lines. I just randomly add them. It's not as if it's in the region here. So let's click here, just a part of the makeup. You just draw a rectangle like this, create an empty layer above everything like so, then fill it with any color. So let me just fill it with white. The color doesn't matter. So reduce the opacity because we want to see beneath it. So come over here, then you click on transform. So let us take it to this part like this. I think I want it to be thinner, so click on extra. Make sure you click lock aspect ratio, which means you are turning it off. As you can see, it's showing something like this, which means you can work on it independently. So let us make the size smaller like so, just as I want it. So okay, will this work? I think we should take it to the side a bit. Yeah, not bad. So we'll click on done. Now let us click right here and then warp. So take this part up. Okay, I think I should take here right to the bottom, here to the top. here to the bottom. Okay, I think this is looking better now. Click on done. Come over here to transform. I think I'll position it. Maybe I should rotate it a bit. Okay, I think this looks fine. So I'll duplicate this one. Duplicate. Click on transform and drag it down a little bit. Maybe right here. Okay. And for this one, I'm going to erase it. Now just leave only this part. So from here, you can increase their opacity back at 100%. You can mesh both down, and we'll just click right here and click on select pieces. Okay, so let's turn them back off and go to the bottom layer, which is this guy. Layer from selection, take it to the top. Make sure it's at the top of everything. So now we can deselect. So it's right here. Now what we want to do is to brighten it so we can enhance it, so it can be more visible. Click on adjustment and curves. So you want to take this part to the top. That is how you do it. Done. Maybe we should erase it from here a bit. And that is how it's done. So we are done with the makeup. Let's go ahead and work on the suit. So we want to work on the suit. Now I'm just going to add the layer of the suit. So click on photo library, and this is it. So let me just add the background first. Okay, this is the background. Then we'll come over here, photo layer, photo library, and we'll add them up. Okay. I think I'll put him at the middle. No. So click on extra, make sure you turn off lock aspect ratio, so everything will be intact. Okay, so now we can click on done. Once satisfied. It's not in the middle yet. Okay, so now the suit is already red, which will make work a bit easier, but the red is not that bright enough, so we can also do some changes to it, of course. So let us select around just the coat. So we'll click on our quick selection tool, then just click and drag to select. I think I'm going to click and drag. This side too. Also right here. This is looking good. No, let me reduce the brush. I think it's too big. Okay. So I'll select right here too, but I will not select the inner coat. I think I'm going to do that. Okay. This is fine. I'll click on mode to subtract. That's fine. So click on mode again until show add. So we'll go for the trouser as well. And yeah, I think we have selected it. That's fine. So what we want to do is to click on layer from selection, like so. Click on done and deselect. So now let me turn off this layer. I'm going to erase this. So click on your eraser tool, because we don't want it to affect our changes, to affect that. Make it a bit smaller, of course. So we are working on this. Nope. Okay. Alright, so now we can turn on our layer. So we can click back on top of this layer. Make sure this layer is active. Now what I want to do, I want to go to curves. I want to go to curves. So click on adjustment and then curves. So we don't want to make it brighter. Instead, let's undo that. We want to make it darker so we can have more of that red tone here. Should we give it a bit of contrast? Sure, of course. This is pretty. So I think this one is enough. Click on done. So now let's select the inner coat. You know, the one from Joker is yellow. So let us make that yellow. So click right on the layer drop down, click on this bottom layer, and just as we did to select the suit, we also do the same to select the inner coat. So careful with the selection. Okay, I think it did a pretty good job. So what you want to do, of course, is to click layer from selection. This one, you know, unlike the suit where it's red, you know, this one will actually want to turn it to yellow. So we're going to do more work on it instead of just going to curves and brighten or darken. So what we're going to do in this one, we have already did a layer from selection. So what we want to do next is to turn it black and white, which means removing the saturation, because we don't want the initial red to affect the color which we want to add on it. So now what we're going to do is to add an empty layer above it. Okay, done. Then click right here and click fill. So let's fill it with yellow. So I think yellow, closer to orange. I think we should make it darker, but not too dark. Let's see what we are doing. Should it be a bit orangey? It's too orangey, so nah. Okay, let's leave it at this one. Let's increase the brightness, maybe if we do. Okay, click on done. Now we can deselect it, deselect, and set the blend mode to overlay, like so. So the color is not pretty cool, it's not that sharp enough. So to correct that, we click on our layer drop down, and then we click on this black and white, and from here we can make it a bit more interesting. So we click on adjustment and curves. Let's see what we are doing. Let us undo it So for me, I think I'm going to increase the side. Yes. Take this one down now. Take it up. And then done. So this is the before and the after. This is very easy. So now let's just change the sleeve to green, from white to green. It's not a big task. It's just as easy as what we just did. So let us select around the sleeves. So carefully select around it. Let's undo that. Using the quick selection tool, of course, makes life easier. See, we are in the wrong layer. So let's go to this layer. This layer, yeah, our subject layer. And from there, yeah, this is what we want. It does it automatically for us. Good job, Photoshop. So let's make the brush size small. Select the side as well. And let's not forget the side. Fine and well. And there, the sleeve. Beautiful. Okay. So now, just as we did before, click right here, layer from selection. We turn it black and white. Good. Then add an empty layer above it. Done. Go click right here, fill, not with yellow but with green. So let's change the hue to green. It's supposed to be a very dark green. This dark, should we desaturate it a bit? Sure, why not? So this is how dark the green is. We can change it wherever we want. Click on done. So now let us deselect it. Click deselect. So now we can turn it to overlay. Change the blend mode to overlay. And as you can see, it's not that great. And you know how we can solve it. So click back at this bottom layer, which we turned black and white earlier. So we can come over here to adjustment and then click on curves. So let's undo this one. I think since this is white, we are to dark it. So take it to the bottom. So I think we'll take this side to the bottom as well. Let's take a full view to see. Darken it more. Okay. I think this is working. Yeah. Definitely. Should we take this side to the top? No. Okay. Let's take this one. Let's take this one. Okay. So we are done with the color. Otherwise, you know, Joker doesn't have a bow tie, but we already have it here, so we will leave it. And these two will also manage it. So I also want to make them darker. I think they are a bit more blue. So let us select them. Since we have already selected this shirt, there's no need. Sorry, this is the shirt. Since we have already selected it, there is no need to go ahead and select it again. All we have to do is to click on this bottom layer. We can even use a lasso too. Just draw around it like this. Create layer from selection. Right, let's undo that. Come over to adjustment, make it black and white. Come over here to curves. Of course, I'm going to make it darker. That's good. Done. I'll do the same thing for the bow tie, but for the bow tie I think I will have to select it. So come over to quick selection tool, select, make sure you click on the model layer. So we just select the bow tie like so, just as we did. Layer from selection, done. Click on adjustment, black and white. Click on adjustment again, curves. Think that one is too dark, let's undo it. Let's take it down just a little bit. Okay, I think this one is fine. Click on done. So now we are pretty much done with the joker composition, blah blah blah. And now what we want to do is to blend it with the background. So I think the shirt is a bit too saturated for the background, and this background I want to make it black and white like so. So the shirt is a bit too saturated. Let us desaturate it a bit. So click on adjustment, go to saturation, take it down a little bit, not too much. Okay, I can click on done. Come over to the sleeve. We can measure it down, measure down the coat. Come over to adjustment, saturation, take it down a bit as well. Done. And also for the sleeve, measure it down. Come over to saturation, and yeah, that's it. So what I love to do is to come over here, click on the bottom layer, add an empty layer above it, click on done, then click on this and click on gradient. So first of all, click on use a linear gradient like this one. You can see, make sure it's a linear gradient and make sure the first one is at 0% and this one is 100% black. So put it right here. Like so. Okay. After that, click on done. Then add another empty layer above it. So we'll click on gradient again, but this time we'll use a radial. So click right here, click on this, click on radial type. Let's change the color. So click right here and make it white. Click on this one as well, make it white as well. So make it big. This will help us bring our eye straight to the subject. Click on done. So before, after, so this is not just it. Click right here and change it to linear dodge. You can reduce the opacity to your choice. I think this one is fine for me. Pretty much cool, isn't it? So now what we want to do, I think we are supposed to mesh all these things to the subject. So let's just mesh everything here to the subject. So let's start with the one from the bottom. Mesh this one down. This one, we mesh it down. Same thing with this one. Going to mesh it down. This one as well. And finally this one. Okay, so now we have them all in one layer, which is what we want. Okay, so now let us create an highlight. To do that, click on layer drop down, click right here and duplicate this layer. Come over to adjustment, click on brightness / contrast, take it all the way to the bottom. It is 100% fully black. And after that, click right here and change the blend mode to linear dodge. And this is where we're going to apply the highlights. So to do that, click on make sure you click on basic and then bevel. As you can see, take a look at the edges. So click on angle, direct it to this point, like so. I think the blur is too much. Oh yes, this one is fine. I think yes, this one is fine, of course. Click on done. Let us do the same thing again. Duplicate this layer. Click on adjustment, brightness 100% black. Change the blend mode to linear dodge again. This time click on effects, bevel, but this time we're going to direct it to the side so we can isolate the other side of the subject. I think this is beautiful. Yeah, pretty much beautiful. Okay, we click on done. So if you want to, you can reduce the opacity just a little bit. I would love to reduce the opacity a little bit. So now let us give him some cigarette in his hand. Why would I have a cigarette? It is better to have a cigarette in Photoshop than in real life, you know. So click right here, add a photo layer, photo library, and there's the cigarette. Click on it and then click add. So let us first of all erase away the part which we don't want. So we'll click on our eraser tool, increase the size and the hardness. Before we do that, let's just select around here using our lasso tool, this tool. Just select around here, click right here and click on extract. Okay, now we make work easier for us. So now we can go to eraser tool and just erase, simply erase. Careful when erasing this. Okay, pretty much nice. Use the ends as well. Now I like that. I like that edges lighting. Kind of make it match with our image. So don't erase everything from the end. You can leave this part of the end because it's going to fit it right just in our subject ends. So click right here, transform, make it smaller, put it right here like so. Now you can see what I'm talking about. Makes it suit where I end. as if it's actually holding the thing. Done. I think I'm going to make it a bit darker. So click on adjustment, curves. I won't do all this. Just take this part to the bottom. That's fine. Click on done. So there's one more thing I want to do. I want to make it feel as if the cigarette is actually burning. So to do that, I'm going to use the lasso selection tool. Select around the spot. Nice. Then click layer from selection. So I've just that part in its own layer. And after that, click on select pixels. So you just select around that layer. And now we click over here on effects. We'll go over to stylize. And then we'll click on threshold. So this time we want to take away the fore color and click on the back color. Make it red. Make it 100%. Or let's make it orangey. Yeah. And threshold, let's increase the smoothness. So done. Let's deselect it. Deselect. And now let us change the blend mode to linear dodge. Linear dodge. As you can see, now you see what I'm talking about. So now let us add some smoke to it. Sure, there has to be some smoke in the cigar. So add a photo layer. Click on this image, add. Okay. Change the blend mode to screen. So you can experiment with any of these ones. See which one works best for you. This one really look nice. This one also look nice. But I think I like this one better. It's pretty settled. So let's take our marquee selection tool. Just drag around the side. Click clear. Nice. Smoking look way better in Photoshop than real life. So we can add some overlay add back, like some kind of overlay effect. Let's see what we got. So I'm just going to the back layer, which is above this layer, and maybe I should add some kind of effect to it. Okay, so we have this one. It's just some dust texture overlay. You can find a lot of them. I'll try and make these ones available for you to download if I remember. Okay, once done, click OK. Change the blend mode to screen, like so. Now let's see if I have another one to add. But before that, go to levels, take it to the side. Yeah. Okay, done. Come over here. Let's see if I can add another one. Okay. And yeah, I think this is the last one I'll add. Flip it. Okay. And of course, change it to screen. Blend mode to screen. And I think that is pretty much it. The rest will be done in Snapseed. So if you want to follow along the Snapseed, you are free. So let's go over to Snapseed and get this part here. done. So I'm just going to click done, save. And I'll save to gallery. Click on it, click OK. So now let us move over to Snapseed. I think I have and here we are in Snapseed. So this was the original Snapseed edit I made. So this was the original one. So let's try and remake that. So click right here, click on tune image, brighten, darken it. I think I'll darken it, add some contrast to it, take down the saturation a bit, take down the ambience. Yeah, I think so. For the highlights, going to increase it a bit, shadows, the one, going to give it some warmth. Done. Now for the details, going to add some structure and sharpening. Done. So this is the before after. So we are still working. Click on colors, take this one down, and I'll take this one to the top. Click on the green, take it to the top, take it down right here. No. So let's go to red, take it to the top, take it down at the bottom. Sure. So you can keep on trying. Let's see what HD arrow will do. So here is HD arrow. We have HD arrow. HD arrow add a bit to it. Before, after, yeah, kind of like this. So let us add some lens blur to it. So click right here, then lens blur. So I'm going to make it something like this. Oh. So I'm going to increase the transition. For the vignette, I'll take it down. So give it a bit of more blur. Nice. Now let us add some vignette into it. Increase this part. Before, after, not bad. So this is the before and the after. Nice effect. I really had a lot of fun making this. Alright, I think we are done for this tutorial. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.